Hey everyone, yes, I'm back again, and I now have Carolina Osorio and
Yep.
Katia Stoletniy. Please correct me if I've said your name
Stoletniy, yeah, pretty close.
very close. Okay, great. So we were just talking in Spanish because we got one from Argentina and one from Colombia. Encantado.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being here. So Catalina and Dr. Katia were both ladies were going to be speaking at the Best You Expo. We would have been there today, but
Yeah.
anyway, we're here live. So I'm going to read a very brief profile. So Katia and Carolina, co-founder of Inner Growth Lab. Katia is a board certified psychiatrist with passionate about behavior modification, skill development and mindset optimization. I was saying before, we need a lot of that. And then Carolina is a board certified psychiatrist too with whole passion. So it's both the same. Okay, Carolina, please correct me now anyway. So tell me, what is your expertise and what are you helping people with now?
So we are both psychiatrists. I work in the field of addictions. So there's a lot of mindset change and behavior modification, building new habits. And do you want to talk about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a psychiatrist, but my expertise is in a geriatric population. So basically, my work is focused on how living your life well so that we can make your brain be as healthy as long as you can. So we're not, my message is not about lifespan, but about health span. And so in order for us to age well, we have to take care of ourselves from now, from when we're kids. It's all interconnected. And so because we are both psychiatrists, what we do is modification skills, everything that we know are going to make that brain healthy.
And what brought us together is that we both went through burnout. We both got to a pretty low point working and started talking together and realized, oh, you're going through the same thing as I am, and didn't even realize. And working in our journey together to overcome burnout, we started realizing there's so much out there that you can do. There's so much evidence-based tools and skills that you can implement. And with our background on the brain and neuroscience, putting all that together was really meaningful for us. It changed our journeys, our daily experience going to work. And we decided we want to share this with other people, that burnout is very prevalent. We want to share this with people so that others can also go from surviving day to day into like thriving. We want people to thrive.
And so we are sort of like branching outside of orthodox medicine. Healthcare system is important. It's necessary for people who are very sick, but our message through our company is mostly prevention and education. So because there is so much in health that can be avoidable just by the way how we live our lives.
And I was going to say that obviously, you know, both of you together have, you know, you combined have, you know, great expertise. And obviously, you know, you are, you know, well, very knowledgeable. I find it interesting that first of you, both of you coming together with the expertise you have, very, very interesting.
Right.
And also that you both went through the same experience of burnout, you know, and that obviously what brought you together. So I can assume that these challenging times we have is a different type of burnout for people, or you know, from a relationship point of view, from not having the money coming in, from the uncertainty. So how do you see yourself helping customers and clients to get through these moments now?
Well, actually, we've been talking about this, and we're working on a little bit of a workshop for healthcare providers, because the panic is such a big thing right now. I mean, you go to the store, there's no toilet paper, there's no essential stuff to buy, and panic is not necessary. Sure, we do need to prepare, we do need to know the facts, what's going on, but panic is a choice. And unfortunately, the community around us, the attitude that the community is choosing, it's very contagious. And this panic that's going around is spreading faster than the coronavirus is spreading, actually.
Yeah. And is this something animalistic or prehistoric in that, of having this hunter-gatherer mentality that I've got to go out and bring some food home, and then, you know, you see these people, because we've all found them in the supermarket. I know it's a joke, but you see people with toilet rolls for 6 years, you know, like, well, where are you going? Where are you going with this?
Right. So I'm going to give you like an analogy. So, you know, for example, when somebody has a serious medical problem, when you have a serious medical problem, your ability to bounce back into health has to do with how much you took care of your body for many, many years. It's not something that you can do like at the last minute. So the same thing happens when we are faced with adversity. Even though we cannot predict exactly how we are all going to respond to adversity, the way how we have prepared ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, all is going to be detrimental in the way how we rebound back from that state of fear and anxiety, because those emotions are naturally going to come out because we are human beings. And like you mentioned, there is this sort of like generational inheritance to the way how we behave, and that has to do with a part of our brain called the limbic system, in which where you have the amygdala, and the amygdala is a survival part of your brain. So the amygdala is going to get activated in moments of adversity and intense survival. So even for me, that I feel I have pretty good skills, and you know, I'm in the medical field, so I have a lot of good evidence information about the virus. When I went to the store and I saw that there was no water, I felt anxiety and I felt worried. Did I panic, and did I allow that fear and anxiety to control my behavior? No. But yes, I did felt it, because I have an amygdala like everybody else, and because this is what our brains are teaching us in order to survive. So anxiety and fear to a certain point is absolutely necessary, but then it is up to us how we can manage that.
So what do you think the outcome is going to be? Because a lot of people, you know, obviously some people are solution driven, and some people are focusing on the problem. It's obviously down to the mind and the brain and the quality of our thoughts, but it's also obviously down to, you know, what information are we receiving? You know, what are we surrounding ourselves with? Is it positive or is it negative news?
Yeah. So, you know, you know, Katia and I, we have a mindset that we shouldn't be focused on the end point, but more on the process. And so what can we do during these times, instead of focusing on to when is it going to end, how long this is going to be? Because we don't know. You know, the predictions are saying that we're going to be at our peak by mid-April. So we're just sort of like entering the beginning, leading to that midpoint. And, you know, a lot of states are doing different things. The government is trying to do the best they can under the circumstances, but we all have been affected. So thinking or focusing on that endpoint, I think, is just going to cause more and more of that anxiety, that angst, and that panicky feelings. We both think that this is a time for us, as in humanity, as in this world, is to come back to a very spiritual thought process, which is meaning. So what is the meaning in our lives? Meaning drives individuals to do great things. I believe most people who are at work, they do the work they do because it gives them meaning in life. And so when you are removed from your meaning and you're now stuck in your house, you're going to start feel boredom and you're going to start feel panicking. So we are going to need to start changing or refocusing our meaning to other areas, to other things that we are going to be doing while we are adjusting to this new lifestyle for the next few weeks. That also includes the fact that we as a society, we are very individualistic. And I believe that life is giving us this opportunity to say, hey, you know what? We're communal beings. We're social beings. How can we do best? So it's not about me reclusing myself because I'm going to get sick. It's I need to recluse myself because of my elderly, because of my children, because of this person. So we are taking that focus away from ourselves to the community.
I love that. I love that, and I appreciate that. I mean, I think a lot of it is around that meaning. So it's obviously then also about helping people, or then starting to identify not only what that meaning is but what are the purpose. I mean, one of the things that obviously I've been focusing a lot is around your legacy, because, you know, take it like it or not, you know, at the end of the day, we are mortals. I think we all know
Yes,
this,
we
you know,
are.
that we are mortals, and some people think that they're going to be around forever, so they tend to procrastinate and leave, you know, the decisions. I'll take care of that tomorrow. So, you know,
Yes.
the reality of you know, passing away is more real in your life. So maybe this is a time to do a checklist, a bucket list of the things that you want to do and leave behind, and start focusing. And it might be about that, about building bridges. It might be about working on that. So what's your thoughts around this, and how could people, what are the best tips and advice for people to focus on their meaning and purpose?
Well, actually, I think this is a great opportunity to do a little bit of that inner work. Oftentimes we try to get answers from outside to help us see what our value is, what our meaning is. But this social distancing gives us that opportunity to take that time and ponder about what our meaning and values are.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, because we want to give people advice on all sorts of things.
Yes.
What would you say would be good things to read, recommended books, for example, things that you know, that have helped you? What would you say for you personally and professionally?
Yeah. Oh, this is our favorite topic. So I can start with Captivate by Vanessa Van Edwards, or
the last one that we were both reading, I thought that was wonderful, is the one by Brendon Burchard, High Performers Habits. I think that's a wonderful book. There's also a lot of shows and podcasts. Lewis House has a really good podcast. Tom Bilyeu with Impact Theory. Those are my top two.
And then Robin Sharma, his latest book, it's really amazing. We also have been reading, but this is in Spanish, and it's by Victor Coopers. He's wonderful. He's also someone who resonates to the way how we do our work through our company.
And one more, Men's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl.
Oh, I've read that book. That's a fantastic book, actually.
Yes.
It is sad in a way, because it talks about apathy and empathy, but it's obviously based on the Holocaust, and obviously his experiences living it. But it's a great book. I'm going to recommend a couple of books. Sure. I'm going to recommend one now that I for me was brilliant, which I think is very current, would be very good and appropriate now when we're bored at home and we're trying to do new things. And this was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book. It's about creating new habits and creating new things. And a book that I will always recommend to the day I die I'm a massive fan, obviously, of Jim Rohn, without a doubt. So I love Jim Rohn. But the book that The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F-U-C-K.
Oh, yes.
I love that.
I have that book too.
And I'm just trying to find the title, because I always get the title wrong. But it's just The Mindful Athlete is a great book from.
That's an amazing book too.
George Mumford, he's brilliant. Yeah, a book that I love that really triggered all sorts of fantastic ideas is Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic. Brilliant book. Wow. And the reason about that, or why I think that book is so great, is because it talks about ideas. And the previous panel that I had before, we were talking about ideas. This isn't a time when we can be so creative. And in her book, it talks about how ideas are like entities, that they come and they're looking for someone to make them, to become a reality. And if they don't become a reality, then all of a sudden they go to someone else. And I'm sure we've all experienced that when we said, oh, I thought of that 3 years ago, and all of a sudden it's invented. Right. So I'm a great believer that if you don't bring your ideas into reality, you know, they will find another home. And also I think it's your obligation to do so.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so we shared some great books here. You've given some great advice, ladies. We're going to do one of these in Spanish the next time. So
okay, absolutely.
Okay. Vamos a hacerlo en español porque hay mucho latino aquí en Los Ángeles.
Definitivamente que sí.
But what would you like to leave us with? What's your thoughts on kind of what's next, what you are doing, and how people could implement some of the ideas that you are particularly doing, transitioning and moving forward to helping more and serving more?
Attitude is one of the biggest things that are under our control. And we are the only ones that can choose if we're going to allow our attitudes to be shaped by the outside sources and the panic around us, or if we are going to choose an attitude that's going to be helpful to us and to those around us. And since we've been talking about books, another great book that can help with the way that we're thinking and the attitude we choose is It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moya. Also a great book about neutral thinking, because we are seeing a lot of catastrophic thinking around us, and being able to face reality by what it is. I mean, it is what it is. This is what we're dealing with, and being able to come at it with the facts of what it is and being able to thrive in today's day. I think that is the biggest gift we can give ourselves right now.
Well, that's all brilliant advice, ladies. So you were scheduled to be speaking at the Best You Expo. Now you have the new dates, the 7th and 8th of August. So what are you going to be sharing there with us in summer when it's tens of thousands of people and we can all high five and we can say,
yeah.
What are you going to be
so
sharing?
our focus is going to be on burnout. We're going to explain that neuroscience, how burnout affects your brain, like literally makes changes in your brain. And then we're going to talk about the skills that you can use to reverse those changes in your brain that has been proven by brain imaging, so that you can move from surviving into thriving.
And we'll talk about the scientific method to wellness. So we've adapted the biopsychosocial spiritual model we use in medicine into actually our well-being and growth and personal development.
Well, that's brilliant. And ladies and gentlemen, these ladies can actually say, you can trust me. I'm a doctor.
Yes. Yes.
I can't. I normally say that you can trust me. I'm not a doctor, but they can. So thank you so much, both of you. Lovely to get to meet you here virtually, and looking forward to seeing you.
Same here.
Same here. Super excited to be part of your community. Take
care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
All the best. Thank you so much. Ladies and gents, I'll be back. I'm going to be back in 7-8 minutes time. I'm going to take this time to get some juice and have something to drink. But I'm going to be back at 12:15 with Connie Ponturo and Kerry Conley. And we're going to be talking, well, basically both of them are, one is Connie, it helps people with pain, to live pain-free. And then Kerry's going to be, she's an entrepreneur, and she does some great work around vision and helping people find their vision in life. She's got a great story personally, and she's a lovely, lovely, lovely lady. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Lots of love.